Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So welcome back to the third session today. We are going to talk about practical matters now. Though you know, whenever I hear the clamor for be practical, tell us something useful and practical, I really don't agree with that. The way the Atman or pure consciousness is understood in Advaita Vedanta is the most practical of all things. It is just here and now and all the time. It's all the time continuously available to us. If only one would get some clarity about it, then you would see it's the most practical of all things. But however, the question is not entirely unjustified. This is the question about sadhana, spiritual practice. All great masters, they are engaged in sadhana. Almost always it was before enlightenment. Sometimes there were cases of spontaneous awakening. But then after that spontaneous awakening, you will notice masters like Ramana Maharshi and all, they remained absorbed for long, prolonged periods of time. So sadhana is not something that we can at all neglect. This session is about sadhana. Of course, at the end of it, you can ask questions related to the morning session also and about sadhana. Sadhana means practice. The Sanskrit word sadhan means a way, a method. And a sadhan is always used to attain a goal, to get something, sadhya. Sadhya is that which you get. And the person who employs these methods is called a sadhaka or sadhika, a practitioner, a spiritual practitioner. So you employ these methods to reach a goal. Sadhaka, sadhana, sadhya. Sadhana is the use of these methods, is the practice. And in Sanskrit, Indian languages, sadhana is referred not only to spiritual practice, but somebody who is practicing music, dance. It's sadhana. It's a practice. In this session, we will speak about, I'll give you an outline of what we're going to talk about. In this session, we will speak about 4 types of grace, kripa, then the matrix of sadhana, then the 4 preliminaries, and finally 3 components of enlightenment. 4 types of grace, matrix of sadhana, the 4 preliminaries, and the 3 components of enlightenment. First of all, 4 types of grace. And what is this 4 types of grace? This actually comes from the book. It's a footnote. It's one of those notes given by Swami Dhireshanandaji. Please come to the 3rd verse. In my book, it's on page number 9. The verse is on page number 8, but the footnotes are on page number 9. Chapter 1, 3rd verse, page number 9. The 4 kinds of grace. Atma Kripa, grace of the self. Shastra Kripa, grace of the text, of the teachings, of the scripture. Guru Kripa, grace of the Guru. Ishvara Kripa, grace of God. Have you found it? Chapter 1. 4 types of grace. Atma Kripa, Shastra Kripa, Guru Kripa, Ishvara Kripa. 4 kinds of grace. Now, first and foremost is, the details are given in the book, you can take a look. First and foremost is Atma Kripa. This is primary. This is what leads to the other kinds of grace. Atma Kripa is just his self-effort. Sri Ramakrishna used to say the Guru and the Shastra and God all are gracious. But without the grace of the one, the jiva goes to ruin. What is the grace of the one? Who is the one? One. Oneself. Unless one uses that. What we said in the morning, the mind by itself can make a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven. So the grace of the one, my own grace, that means effort, self-effort. Second is the grace of the scriptures. What is the grace of the scriptures? By sincerely studying the scriptures, regularly studying the scriptures, thinking about it, and trying to implement it, trying to manifest it in our own lives. Trying. That effort one day will lead to Shastra Kripa. I've heard about this from sadhakas, from monks and others, that one day the text will open itself up to you. It will become clear. It will immediately, what it happens, a breakthrough, after which the text speaks to you. It's very clear what it is saying. Before this, it was something very exciting, mystical, very subtle, very fascinating. But now it's still exciting, it's still wonderful, fascinating, but it's as clear as day now. So the Shastra opens itself. Shastra is the text, the scripture, opens itself up to you. That is Shastra Kripa. And third is Guru Kripa, because it's a knowledge system. In general, in Vedanta and in general in Hinduism, the place of the Guru is very important. The Guru is who initiates you into spiritual life, is who forms the bridge between the human and the divine, brings us into spiritual life as it were. And this Guru is important in many, many traditions of Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism also, and in different ways in all religions, in Islam, Christianity also, in Judaism also. There is some analog of the Guru. The Guru Kripa, grace of the Guru. If the Guru is pleased, then the teachings manifest in our life. What they are trying to transmit, it manifests in our life. So that's why service to the Guru, often this takes almost a physical form. You're serving the Guru, that's all right. But the real service to the Guru is to do what the Guru is teaching us. Ma Sharada, Holy Mother, she initiated many people. Few of them were around her who helped her in the ashram, who would visit her regularly. So somebody asked her, Mother, you gave mantra diksha to so many. There are those like us who come every day or regularly to you, or we stay here. There are others of your children. Children means those who have taken mantra diksha from you. They never come back. One day they have taken initiation and they never come back to you. So what do you say to that? And she says, those who have taken, my child, those who have taken the mantra and then they dive deep with it, they are the best kind. They never come back here. And there are others also. They are also good. He didn't want to hurt their feelings. But the best kind is the one who takes the teachings and takes it up seriously. Guru Kripa, the grace of the Guru. And finally and most important, Ishvara Kripa, the grace of God. In spiritual life, we will sooner or later come to the realization everything that has happened from now up to final realization is actually the grace of God. It seems it's my effort, maybe, but it's actually the grace of God. Even when that realization comes after Atma Kripa, after one's struggle, many years of sadhana, when that realization comes, you will, if it's a genuine realization, it will come with the clear feeling, the clear knowledge that it was not really because of my practices. What are my practices like? They are like knock and it shall be opened. The opening comes from that side. Ask and you shall receive. The giving comes from that side. But we have to ask, we have to knock. That much we can do. That is all our sadhana. Sri Ramakrishna said, the grace, how to get the grace of God then? Sri Ramakrishna said, the grace of God is like the wind. It is always blowing. Remember, he lived by the side of the Ganga. So the wind is always blowing. He would see these little boats. They would raise the sail and sail along merrily on the river. Those who don't raise the sail, they have to struggle a lot and they don't make much progress. But if you raise the sail, he says, the boatman holds on to the sail, to the rudder, and he says he smokes tobacco with the other hand and merrily sails along on the river. In spiritual life, a state comes when you feel the grace of God, you raise the sail and you're taken along. There also, effort is necessary because somebody said to me, a person who knows how to sail, he said, Swami, this is a good example because even to raise the sail requires effort and skill. That's why you have to learn sailing. It requires strength, it requires exertion, you have to put effort into it. So that raising the sail is our effort, our sadhana. And then it is done by God. The difference is this. when we do something, meditation, Vedanta, service, devotion, and we get the result of that, we think it's the result of what we have done. No. What this Ishvara Kripa, the grace of God, what it's trying to tell us is, even after self-effort, when we get the results, it's still the grace of God. It's very clear. When you get it, you will see, I didn't deserve it. I didn't earn it. Clearly, it is a gift from God. But we must ask. We must ask. So this is the 4 kinds of grace. Here, he makes a note here. Without the grace of one's own self, all others are futile. If the seeker of liberation neither makes any effort to secure his own good nor to attain peace, nothing at all can happen. But if one has the grace of one's own self, the other 3 types of grace will unite to make that path of liberation smooth. All right. Now, the grace of one's own self, which is self-effort. What direction should it take in Vedanta? What are we supposed to do? So now we have the matrix of sadhana. The matrix of sadhana. You know what a matrix is? Rows and columns. So it's a 3x3 matrix. 3 rows and 3 columns. What are the rows and columns? It is what is the problem, what is the solution, and what is the method, the sadhana, practice. Problem, solution, and method or practice. We are Brahman. That's what we studied in the morning. The whole thrust was to tell us you are already that. And we know it. Now we know it. We talked so much about it in the morning. We even did a meditation which gave us an indication of what is being said here. So what's your problem now? We scratch our head and say, well, all that was fine, but I'm still the same person. I really haven't changed. Nothing much has happened to me. Somebody said, you're still the same dude. You're still the same dude. So, my problem now is that it may be true, these things may be true, but I really am not enlightened. I have to be honest. I really don't, it's not a living reality for me. Sometimes I seem to understand it or feel a little bit of it. It's fascinating, but it's not real for me. I'm not a saint. That's my problem. Now, this is called ignorance, that I do not know my real nature. Problem, ignorance. This is first row, first column of the matrix, 3x3. Problem, ignorance. And solution for ignorance is always knowledge. Any ignorance. Suppose I don't know Spanish. I'm ignorant about Spanish. Somebody told me that won't do in Arizona. You have to learn Spanish. So I'm ignorant about Spanish. Now what is the solution? I have to learn. I have to take lessons. Whatever we are ignorant about. Now this book, Vedanta, is telling us we are Brahman. You are that. And if I'm honest, I must say that that's nice to know, but I don't really know. The way I know I am Sarvapriyananda, I don't really know that I am Brahman that way. So this not knowing, not only not knowing, there is also a wrong knowing. I do not know that I am Brahman, and I am quite clear that I know I am this body, this mind, this person. The 2 Sanskrit words, Ajnana, Adhyaropa or Adhyasa. Ajnana, ignorance. Adhyasa, superimposition. Or that's a fancy word for error, mistake. We do not know who we are, so we have mistaken this body mind for ourselves. It's a big claim. So that is the first problem, ignorance. And the solution has to be knowledge. Self-ignorance, self-knowledge is the solution. Second, first column, problem. Second column, solution. Where will self-knowledge come from? Jnana Yoga. Method, practice, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Listen to these truths again and again. If I don't know, take lessons. Listen. Study the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the Brahma Sutras, the Prakarana Granthas, Yoga Vasistha. Listen in Sanskrit, in Hindi, in English. Doesn't matter which language. The message must be the same. that you are Brahman. Listen to it in 100, in 1,000 different ways. Then reason about it till you get it. And then meditate upon what you have got. This is a practice. Shravana, hearing, manana, reasoning, nididhyasana, meditation. Technically, these three solve three kinds of problems. Now we are talking about the method, the practice. These three components of practice: hearing, reasoning, meditation. They solve three kinds of problems. One is pramanagata samshaya, doubt about what the teaching is. Yeah, I want to be spiritual. You are teaching me to be spiritual. What exactly are you telling me? When I had this question, what exactly are you telling me? What exactly is this book telling me? It's my doubt about the teaching. That doubt will be removed by listening. Shravana. After listening, we have no right to say, I don't know what the teaching is. I don't know what he said. You can honestly say, I don't get what he said. I don't get what the books say. But I can't say honestly that I don't know what the books are saying. Then I have not paid attention. Upside down pot. So all of us should be able to say, yes, this morning this is what we were told, basically. You don't have to go into all the nitty-gritties of it. So the first doubt, what is the teaching? Now I know the teaching. The next doubt will be, I know the teaching, but I don't get it. I have many doubts. I don't understand it. That's the second problem. This is called asambhavana, the impossibility problem. How am I not this body? What is pure consciousness and how am I pure consciousness? How is this pure consciousness limitless? What does even limitless mean? See, all this sounds very profound and philosophical and difficult, but it's actually very clear. Many of you study, you have advanced degrees in science, in medicine, and what you have studied and worked on is quite difficult. The spiritual realization is much easier. Swami Ramakrishnanandaji in the early monastery in Baranagar, the young students would come to him. They would be working hard for their examinations, memorizing books and preparing for examinations. And he would say to them, the amount of effort that you put in for passing one examination, for getting a degree, with less effort than that, one can become enlightened. If you do sadhana. So yes, the second component is to get what has been said, is remove the ignorance, the impossibility argument, the impossibility question. How am I pure consciousness? What is pure consciousness? What is the limitlessness of pure consciousness, of pure being? How are we all one? It all seems totally counterintuitive. Please explain it to me. And then we begin to get it. You listen to the answers again and again. Often it takes years. It's very strange. I think it depends on our inner maturity. It doesn't depend so much on intellect. There are plenty of smart people who don't get it. I have met monks in our order, very simple person, not at all reading all this stuff, but a pure soul who leads a simple, dedicated life year after year. And when I talk to them about this, they get it just like that. They may not be able to put it in English, but they may not also grasp the subtle arguments behind it, but the truth of it is obvious to them. Why? Swami Bhuteshanji once said, the 12th president of our order, what we want is a pure mind, not a sharp mind. In Bengali, he said, pure intellect. He said, in Bengali, he said, Shuddha Buddhi, Shukha Buddhi na. Shukha means the Bengali of Sukshma, subtle. So, not that you have to be dumb, you have to be pretty intelligent for this way of knowledge. But more than that, a certain purity, a maturity of mind. Then one begins to get it. What I didn't get earlier. I remember I always had this problem because as a child I read the complete works of Vivekananda. Not completely, partially, large portions of it. When I became a monk, I always had this hurdle that I've read this. It's only when I started reading it again I realized, I don't know what I read as a kid. I loved reading it, but I clearly didn't understand what I was reading. Now I'm beginning to understand. So I told one of my friends, another monastic brother, one of the most brilliant people I've ever met, and a very good monk. I said to him, you know, Maharaj, I read these books, Vivekananda's works, as a kid. I was 10 years old, 11 years old, and I loved reading them. I really liked it. But now I realized I really didn't understand anything. I was a kid. Now I'm beginning to understand as the years go by. But so that's an important point. As you mature, these things make more sense. And one should read spiritual classics again and again and again over the years. But what he said to me also, that monk said something to me, that's also worth keeping in mind. He said, no. What is important is that you liked it as a child. What you have you think you didn't understand. Maybe you understood a little bit as a kid. You understand more now. Do you think you have understood it now? 10 years, 20 years later, you'll understand it more. When you're enlightened, you'll understand it far more. So, that you like it, that's very important. That's really important. That you liked it as a child. But as time goes by, we understand. Even the simplest teachings become very profound. And the subtle arguments, I would love this philosophical chess playing. Those things seem dry and unimportant. Brahma Sutra says there is no stability in logic. You can argue and establish a position today, tomorrow you can argue and cut down that position. Somebody smarter than us can come along 10 years later and cut down everything that we have set up. Nothing firm can be established. You can't argue your way to enlightenment. Reason has its place. Yeah, but so I remember Swami Madhavanandaji. Again, the Swami I mentioned, who was put through the physiotherapy, stepping over the books. He, in his last days before he passed away, he would continuously read Sri Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Now, an attending monk said, he thought that this is for us, for newcomers, beginners. He asked, Swami, even now you are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And the Swami looked startled. President of the Ramakrishna order. Looked startled. He looked at that young monk and said, what are you saying? It's just now that I'm beginning to understand it. After Brahma-jnana, is clearly from all accounts, he was a fully enlightened person. I'm beginning to understand it. And yet it's something that speaks to us also when we read it. That's the sign of a true spiritual classic. So Shravana, Manana, we must reason until we get it. Then the Nididhyasana, once you have got it, what remains? You can still say, I know the teaching, it's very clear to me, but it's not alive, it's not realized, it's not a living reality for me yet. Do you see the difference between understanding it and being a living reality? There is a difference. And if you don't have the difference, either you're deluding yourself or you're fully enlightened. And when you feel the difference that I have understood it, but it's not real for me yet, I can't leave it. For example, a very good check is life. Life is a great, great guru. Some people ask me, suppose a person has fooled himself or herself into thinking that they are enlightened. Then what will happen? I said, finally life will teach them. Life has a way of teaching us. Kicks and blows of life. Yeah. Over time, old age will teach. Our senior most member is 100 years old. And he often says, Swami, old age is not for sissies. It will teach. Sickness will teach. Failure will teach. So many shocks in life. But in spiritual life, these shocks are great teachers. They are not really harmful. So, Nididhyasana. What I have studied, what I have understood, now that clarity, I stay with that clarity for prolonged periods of time until it's a living reality. Swami Vivekananda calls it assimilation. Say to yourself again and again, I am he, soham, I am that. Remember, not like a mantra. Not repeating I am that, like a mantra. That's different. Once you have understood it, staying with that understanding, this clarity, it's a fact. Stay with the fact. Is it a fact to you that you are pure consciousness? You are the sky of consciousness which we talked about in the morning meditation? Yes, it's a fact. Then stay with the fact. Until, Vivekananda says, Vivekananda's language, until it tingles with every drop of your blood. He says, it becomes a living realization. So that is nididhyasana. Then the problem is done. You solved, ignorance is gone, you realize you are Brahman, becomes obvious, the clouds have parted, the sun is shining, problems are solved. We again scratch our head. Yes, but Swami, this is not the first retreat I've come to. Some people tell me, I have been coming to Vedanta, I've been doing Vedanta before you were born, Swami. I am not yet enlightened. Then Vedanta says, come to the second row of the matrix of sadhana. Problem is at the second level. What is the problem? First problem was ajnana, ignorance. Sanskrit, ajnana. English, ignorance. Second tier problem, vikshepa, distracted mind. Distracted mind. The mind is unable to grasp. We are listening. One Swami put it humorously. You are here, but you do not hear. Distracted mind. In Sanskrit, chitta vikshepa, the distraction of the mind. The mind is being thrown around. Kshepa means to throw. The mind is being thrown around. Distracted mind. That is the problem. Solution? No-brainer. Concentration, focused mind. If distraction is the problem, concentration is the answer. It's a huge issue today. The issue of focus, especially these things we have in our pockets, mobile phones. They are the cause of great indispensable. I'm not against it. It's a great, in economics we call it a multiplier effect. Really, it has transformed the world and our personal lives also. But it's also, it is spraying, sucking out our power of attention. Everybody reports it. Teachers, corporate HR people, everywhere they're seeing a sharp decline in attention span. School teachers especially. They're reporting a whole generation of kids unwilling to pay attention. Kids are always restless, but the teachers are saying on the average at least 20 to 30 minutes we could hold their attention earlier. Now it is 5 minutes or 10 minutes and they're distracted. This is not just kids. I saw it with my own eyes. At Harvard University, I would sit at the back of the classroom and I would listen to the teacher, but I would also watch the kids at work. They are very smart kids from all over the world. But the way studies are done in universities has changed now. Most of you know, especially young people know, this is no news to you. But those of us who haven't been in school for decades, it is an eye-opener for me. So everybody, of course, has their laptops open or iPads open. Now, it's not that they are not listening to the professor. They are listening to the professor, but only occasionally. Listening, then checking in the what the teacher has said. They are following up on that online. Whatever the teacher is saying, it's the on topic, on subject. But from there to something that's related to the subject, and from there to something which is not at all related to the subject, and then a little checkup on the social media, and then back to the teacher again. This is called the phenomenon of intermittent attention. And you see it in classrooms, in boardrooms, in companies, everywhere. It's become a phenomenon, and silently it has come. But attention, spiritual life, very important. In every field of life, whether you're studying or working, but in spiritual life especially. Attention. So focus, solution. Problem, distracted mind. Focused mind, ekagra chitta, solution. In Sanskrit, ekagra chitta. Method, meditation. The Vedic term is upasana. Upasana. Meditation. Which meditation? Any meditation. Once we did a workshop on meditation in the Garrison Institute in upstate New York, and we had various kinds of meditation techniques, classes, mindfulness, Buddhist mindfulness meditation, all preliminary, introductory. Mantra meditation, non-dual meditation, Kashmiri Shaiva meditation from the Vijnana Bhairava, the Soham meditation. The philosopher Arindam Chakravarti told me that's very good. What you do at the end of it all is one session. You look back upon your experiences in all these techniques and all these classes and all these practices and see what's different and what's common to all of them. And we found No surprise here. What was common to all techniques across various spiritual traditions? One common factor. It was all about attention, training of attention. From the simplest follow the breath, Buddhist mindfulness, to the most sophisticated devotional visualization of the Ishta Devata and the lotus of the heart, all about mindfulness. So, some meditation technique. You must have your own practice. And it's good if you do it prolonged for many, many years. Yoga Sutra says, assiduously practiced with sincerity over years, it gives results. Meditation. Dirghakala, Nairantarya. Over a prolonged period of time. You say, yeah, it's a prolonged period of time. I used to meditate before COVID. And now I've started meditating again. Not that kind of prolonged period of time. I meditated 3 years ago, now I'm meditating again. No, over years and years. Then what happens? Concentration comes. The distraction of the mind is reduced. I won't say it goes away. It's reduced. Meditation is the 7th of 8 limbs of yoga. Ashtanga yoga. Yama, niyama, the moral principles. Asana, sitting. If you sit properly, most of the problems will go away. The restlessness of the mind. Then breath control, pranayama. Then pratyahara, withdrawing of the senses, disconnecting and turning inwards. Inwardization, pratyahara. Then dharana, focus. Then only meditation, 7, dhyana. We always say it's difficult to meditate. It is the 7th of 8 limbs. And that meditation by itself will deepen into samadhi, 8th. And samadhis are also of various kinds. So this is the second row of the matrix of sadhana. Here we'll again scratch our heads and say, Swami, actually I have been meditating for many years. And I've tried it. But my mind is either restless or I feel sleepy. It's either boring or it's too exciting. I'm so restless. Now what is the problem? The problem is third row is the problem. The problem is chitta mala, impurity of the mind. That's why meditation is not successful. So third row, first column. Problem, impurity. This is the last problem, I assure you. Impurity of the mind. What is impurity of the mind? Negativities, strong likes and dislikes, hatreds, jealousies, complexes like superiority complex, inferiority complex, guilt, all kinds of troubles in the mind, which makes us suffer internally, but we can't get over easily. And what is the solution? Chitta Shuddhi, purification of the mind. It's all simple. Impurity of mind, solution, purification of mind. Chitta Shuddhi. Method of purification of mind. One powerful method, always recommended in various Vedanta schools, is Karma Yoga. Transformation, spiritualization of our action. Your job, your family, your commitments in society. How to transform that into yoga. Earlier we were doing karma for getting something. I'm doing it to get my salary. I'm doing it to maintain my family. I'm doing it to satisfy my desires. Now, not for desire. Now it is a sadhana. For what? Purification of mind. Why? It will help me in enlightenment. So karma yoga is the method for purification of mind. Now the matrix is complete. Problem, impurity of mind. Solution, purity of mind. Achieved by karma yoga. With a purified mind, we come to meditation. Problem, scattered mind. Chitta vikshepa. Solution, concentrated mind. Method, meditation. We give you the big picture of spirituality, not details. Method, meditation. With a purified and concentrated mind, we come to the third level, or the first level, the top level. Problem, ignorance. I don't know or I don't feel that I am Brahman. Solution, knowledge. Method, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Jnana Yoga, the yoga of knowledge, which we have been doing so far. And with this, what happens with the purified and concentrated mind, when we come to Jnana Yoga, it works. We make a breakthrough and becomes clear to us. No longer theoretical, no longer heard in lecture or YouTube. It becomes your own. You own it. Now, if anybody says different also, it will not make any difference to you. One, that shloka I quoted in the morning, that even the heaviest of sorrows cannot shake you. The language in Sanskrit, when Krishna is saying to Arjuna, is na dukkhena guruna api vichalyate. Not the heaviest of sorrows. Guru means heavy. But the one Swami explaining it, he played on the words. Even the Guru cannot shake you anymore. Guruna api na vichalyate. Even the Guru cannot shake you anymore. If the Guru says, oh, I was just playing a fast one on you, tricking you. You're not Brahman. You're just this guy. You will say, no, now I know. You can't trick me anymore. And the Guru does that. In the Kena Upanishad, the Guru puts the disciple in a difficult position and puts a question to him. But the disciple is as good as the Guru or better and gives the right answer. Anyway, so you will not be shaken anymore. You will not be shaken anymore once that knowledge dawns. So now the matrix of sadhana is complete. Of course, this is the broad picture. Actually, what we will do depends on your tradition, depends on what you have been initiated into. But the thing is, one has to do something. Sri Ramakrishna says that one has to work at first. Afterwards, God, the grace of God will descend on you and make you do whatever has to be done. Then it's much easier. But initially, Atma Kripa. Unless I do something, I really cannot honestly complain. I remember, don't take it otherwise, but in the initial days of our monastic life, we had many questions. And one day I asked the senior Swami that I hope you don't feel bothered. We are asking you so many questions. I was asking so many questions. And the Swami said, doesn't matter. Very, very shortly you'll stop asking those questions. I thought, what does he mean? And it's true. After some time, as maturity comes, we begin to see, unless I really do work hard at it, these questions have no meaning. And then our questions would stop. In the initial days in spiritual life, I remember foolishly, after a few days, I said to a senior monk, Swami, we used to call Maharaj, we read in the books how there's so many spiritual conversations going on in the monastery, but you're not talking about God all the time. And then that Swami, he took off his cap and he scratched his head and he said, you stay here, soon you will understand. Not so fast. Very soon we realize we have to work at it. Only after that questions are of any use. Initially, of course, many questions are there, especially the questions are coming out of reading books and thinking about it. And good to get the answers. You'll get good answers also. Now, the 4 preliminaries of sadhana and the 3 components of enlightenment. The 4 preliminaries, I will not go into the depths because to explain that will take a whole class. But anybody who has studied Vedanta has heard of the 4 preliminaries and it has to be mentioned in any Vedanta retreat. I'll give you the Sanskrit, the English and a brief description of each. 4 preliminaries. This is what they are asking before entering into any Vedanta. Suppose I don't have these qualities, these characteristics, then what stops me from attending a class? What stops me from buying the book and reading it? How can you prevent me from entering Vedanta? Nobody can. The thing is, the result won't come. What do you ask for before you admit somebody into a PhD program? You want these degrees, these SAT scores. How have you got your programs, your scores at graduation, the qualifications? We ask for those things. Suppose you say, no, I'll just do a PhD. I just turn up. It won't work. You won't get your PhD. It just won't work. A comedian I heard was saying that When I went to join the army, they said, you have to go through the selection, and then it's tough physical selection, and there's a written examination and all that, and you get through all of that, then you're selected, and then you go through training. He said, I just skip all of that. I've got a uniform tailored by my tailor. I've even put the rank of the colonel on it. I just turned up for the job. No, it won't work. So the fourfold qualifications, four preliminaries. One is viveka, the discernment between the eternal and the non-eternal, or discrimination between eternal and non-eternal. There is some ultimate spiritual reality that is beyond change, that is ultimate reality, and that can be realized, in comparison to which this world is a world of change. I was listening to that beautiful hymn, Abide with me. All around I see change and decay. O thou who never changest, abide with me. So this person who, when he was dying, he was saying, abide with me. And the pastor who heard it, he wrote the beautiful hymn. So there is an eternal reality. Everything else dies. Changes sounds okay, yeah, things change. No, they die. They go away. They are lost forever. So there is this reality, spiritual reality. Then second, vairagya, dispassion. Dispassion for the transient, momentary world. Again, in that hymn itself, earth's vain shadows flee. The vain shadows of the earth flee. So the dispassion for that. We have been chasing it madly, lifetime after lifetime. Stop. As long as you chase that, spirituality is not possible. This is always the great question. Can't we have both? Can't I enjoy this world with both hands and just be immersed in it and also become enlightened? No. Why not? Because they are opposite ends of the same reality. If I grab the externalizing, the outwardness, the gross, then you are leaving your attention will only be on one thing at a time. In the Bible, no man can serve two masters. Mammon and God, wealth and God. You cannot worship both. Either you will worship the one and hate the other, or love that one and hate this one. So dispassion. Now, one way of dispassion could be you become a monk. You actually physically give up all that. You have no more to do with the worldly goals. Worldly goals would, Sri Ramakrishna narrowed them down to two: wealth and lust. He narrowed it down. The core of worldliness, acquisition and lust. You give it up physically and you become a monk. So that is one way, a specialized way of life. But for most people it's not possible. And remember, it just goes just the opposite to what Vasistha was trying to convince Ramachandra. He was trying to convince Ramachandra to become a king. He was trying to convince Ramachandra to get married. So, then this life, make it into a sadhana, into a spiritual practice. Your marriage, your children, your job, your property, your wealth, your position in society, make it a field of spiritual practice. Karma Yoga will show you how to do that. It's not very difficult. Okay. It's a change of attitude. So this is second preliminary, vairagya, dispassion. Third, I'm looking at the time. How are we doing for time? It's up to 6 o'clock, right? Okay. At 6, yeah. Dinner is at 6:30? Yes. Oh, so we have a little gap. We have a little buffer? Yes. All right. Because we must finish the preliminaries. Otherwise you will say, that's why I'm not enlightened, because we ran out of time. Then the third one. In the third one, a little cheating has been done. 6 things have been packed into one. Number 3 actually has 6 components. 6 treasures. Shat Sampatti. 6 treasures. When we set out on a journey, we need money. You need your credit card or whatever. So 6 treasures. These are the capacities we need. What are the 6 treasures? Shama, quietude of the mind, an internal, a calm mind. One of the greatest blessings of God or our own past spiritual practices is a calm mind. We realize that as we become mature, a calm mind. One of our senior Swamis, very senior most, 96 years old, very happy, very healthy. He said his guru blessed him 70 years ago. His guru blessed him. May you live long life with healthy body and happy mind. What an amazing thing to say. Simple blessing. And somehow it turned out to be true. He's 96 years old, no physical problems at all. Full of, much more energetic than younger monks like us. And happy. Always bright, an inspiration to thousands of people around him. So, shamaha, calm mind, quiet mind, not turbulent mind. Second, so these are capacities to be developed. You can't say, I don't have it. No, these are practices to be done. Work towards calmness. Vivekananda says, here is a practice. Never let anything disturb your serenity. It's a practice you can practice day in and day out, because everything will try to disturb your serenity. Then you will have daily many opportunities for practice. Try to remain undisturbed. That itself is a practice. Simple practice. Difficult. Then damaha. These are all interrelated practices. If you do them all 6 together, you will see it's easier. Damaha. Damaha means control of the senses. Just because a new movie is out, I'm going to go and see that. I heard somebody, I pick up conversation. I hear that new movie is real bad. I must go and see it. I've got the... And somebody said, do you believe it? It's $50 a seat. No, I don't have to see it. The new perfume, a new flower is there. I don't have to smell it. I remember a scolding I'll never forget in my life. One day we were walking, the young monastic novices, with our monastic master, the head of the abbot of the ashram. We used to meet every night for half an hour, 1 hour, so we would walk, we would have to chant, memorize Gita shlokas and chant and explain it to him, and then he would give us advice and so on and so forth. We would walk, and those are treasured memories of my life. I think what I've got today is whatever I could retain from those walks. He would teach not only by speech, but also by action and also by little things pointed out. So one day we were returning to the monastic quarters, that senior Swami surrounded by about half a dozen newcomers, young brahmacharis like me. And it was night and there were flowers and creepers. As we walked past a creeper, I saw this very beautiful flower there. I leant forward to smell it, to sniff it. And then the Swami was upon me instantly. He said, "What's that? Stop! Jogir Lokhan noy, Bhogir Lokhan. This is not the sign of a yogi. This is a sign of a bhogi. Bhogi is one who wants to enjoy the world, to get a pleasure seeker basically. Stop. Why? Why do you want it? So, taste, smell, eyes, ears, hearing. Not just nice music. Yes, you can hear once in a while. Hear bhajans, hear the devotional chanting, whatever is part of your tradition, hear that, which will help you. But not just the question of music or nice sounds or whatever. It's also, for example, we want to hear our own praise. What did he say about me? Someone showed me a cartoon. This guy is walking with chest puffed up and wearing black glasses and looking like a hero, he said. And it says, Mr. Most Views on YouTube. He has got most views on YouTube. That's why he is proud. Or we are very eager to hear criticism. Others' criticism, but especially if others are criticizing us, I want to hear that. Oh my God, what are they saying about me? Tell me. I remember once I was walking with that senior Swami with a group, and there were a group of students standing on the corner on the path. And the Swami said, today we will not take that path, we'll take this path. I asked why. He said, I heard they were talking about me. So, Let them talk. I will not listen. I have had this long stories. I will not take time here. Just the opposite of our tendency. I don't want to hear anything, any gossip about me. One story. One monk I admired a lot in the Himalayas. I met him. Very, very learned, very saintly man. A very brave and sort of dynamic kind of monk. A rebel kind of monk. So one story about this monk. A group of monks, and monks also gossip. So a group of monks came to him and said, Swami, do you know what they are saying about you in that ashram? And the Swami immediately said, it's all true. He didn't even ask. In Hindi he said, Sab sach hai. It's all true. I'm giving you a blank check. Whatever you want to put there, you put it there. I'll sign it. It's all true. Anything else you want to know? And they say, but you're getting angry. Swami, you didn't even ask what it is. No, it's all true. I don't care. So, yes. Shamaha, damaha, control of the senses. Then, taste. There's an instructive story about Swami Turiyanandaji, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. So in our main monastery, one thing happens in summer, which is very hot in Bengal. So one of the things offered to the deity in the temple is a kind of a lassi. It's a milk-based drink, but in summer it's offered, and it's really delicious. How do I know? Each monk gets it once in a year. It's half a cup. I mean, it's a cup, let's say. So I got it once or twice, maybe, over the years. You might not get it every year also. So in the early days of the tradition, Swami Turiyanandaji, who's a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, a young monk came and said, Swami, it's your turn today. Here is the lassi from the temple. It's cold, which is a rarity in those days before refrigerators. And it's delicious. It's really delicious. I can testify to that. So the Swami took one sip and he said, take it away. This young monk was taken aback. He said, why, Swami, is it not good? He said, it is. That's why. I liked it. That's why I take it away. Now, you don't have to be so harsh. Somebody invites you for dinner and you take in one spoon and then you spit it out. What happened? It's so good. I can't take it. No, don't do that. But control. Moderation. Don't be guided by the tongue. Don't be guided by the eyes or the ears. Our goal is self-realization, not to satisfy the eyes or the ears or the tongue or the touch. Then Shama, Dama, Titiksha. Forbearance, a spiritual fortitude, toughness. How much tough you have been, how much you have struggled to get a degree, how much you have struggled to hold a job and build a career, how much you have struggled to hold on to marriage and raise children. You have struggled, you have sacrificed. That toughness you must display in spiritual life. No matter what the world throws at me. More than the world, the body. Sometimes body may feel sick or no energy. Mind may not be interested. No. As a matter of principle, as a matter I have given my word to the Guru. I will repeat the mantra. At least minimum number of times. I will do it. Spiritual toughness. Titiksha. To put up with sorrows, put up with difficulties, and regardless, pursue your spiritual goal. There is not enough time to discuss this. These things have to be discussed in detail. Remember, the goal is to pursue your spiritual goal. The goal is not to be stoic and tough and put up with all sorts of troubles. If taking a medicine helps you to focus on your work and meditation and study, then do that. I have seen monks misinterpreting this and suffering terribly physically. They will not take any treatment. Sitting in the meditation hall, everybody is meditating. This guy is stretching out a long leg in front. What happened? Knee pain. Why don't you show the doctor? No, I'm trying to withstand the pain. It's weird. You're sitting in the semi-darkness and meditating, suddenly a long leg comes here. All sorts of funny things happen. There was this monk who was dozing. It's a very common phenomenon. It's hot and you're sleep deprived and you're up at 3:40 a.m. in the morning, at 4 a.m. sitting, you're doing like this. And that time, I saw this with my own eyes, there was this very sincere Japanese devotee who thought this is the time you have to bow. So every time the monk did like that, the Japanese devotee also did. Oh, there are so many funny stories I could tell you. Anyway, so titiksha, toughness. Then there is this uparati. Rati means enjoyment in the senses, in the world, flowing out into the world, reversing that, pulling back. People say, I've lost interest in many things I used to have interest in earlier. Good! Ashokanji used to say, good riddance to bad rubbish. It's a sign of maturity. Sign of maturity. How many parties will you attend? How many weekend parties and drinking and dancing will you spend time? How many excursions will you go to? How many vacations? It all takes away time and energy. The clock is ticking. So if you feel, I have seen that, and whatever else you may offer, the world may offer, is a variation of that. It's all right. I don't need to do that. There is limited time, limited energy. Uparati, reverse it. Once you have reversed it, you will have more time and energy. That is called, then you have to do samadhana. Focus, settle down. For a pretty long period of time. Years at least, a few years at least. Settle down on study and prayer and meditation and seva. Settle down. Uparati. And then there is shraddha. Uparati, samadhana, that's shraddha. Shraddha is a faith in the teachings of the teacher, acharya, the guru, and the texts. That this is true, I don't get it yet, but others have, and I am sure I have this much faith. If I persist, I will get it. And it's not all or nothing. As we persist, we get more and more light. So our faith gets strengthened. So these are the 6 treasures. Shamaha, quietude of mind. Damaha, control of the senses. Titiksha, spiritual fortitude. Then uparati, turning inwards, turning away from worldliness. Then samadhana, focus on spiritual life. And shraddha, a faith which will help us. It's the fuel which will help us to go on, carry on over the years. And then remember this was number 3. Then the 4th one is mumukshutvam, intense desire for freedom. I am in samsara. I am told that I am limitless existence, consciousness, bliss. I am told that I am one with God. I don't see that. I just see darkness. I just see helplessness. Oh, help of the helpless. Help me. This intense desire for freedom. In fact, this is the one condition for enlightenment. Sri Ramakrishna was asked, what's the one thing you need for enlightenment? He said, vyakulata. Intense restlessness, not for the world. People, we are restless for the world. We are restless for the world. We are restless because of the world. We are mostly, either we are attracted or tempted, or anxiety and terror. What will happen? What will happen? So, intense, this desire. Now, one might ask here, one question and then we'll move on. How will I get this intense desire for God realization? I don't have it. I have a mild desire for God, little bit, but not enough. The answer lies in the first 3. Viveka, Vairagya and the 6 treasures. Those are action points. Let me increase my discernment. Focus, clear difference between God, Brahman, Atman, that ultimate spiritual reality and the rest of it. That is, let me drive it into my mind. Then dispassion for the rest of it. Then the 6 treasures, cultivate each one. I give the example of driving a car. You keep your eye on the road, you keep your eye on the speed, on the gas. things like that. Similarly, keep your eye on, is the mind quiet? Am I practicing Vivekananda's this teaching that let nothing disturb the serenity of the mind? Are my senses under control? Am I withstanding when troubles come? Let me practice withstanding, and so on. Here is the secret to using the 4 preliminaries. They are causally linked. They are causally linked. Preceding one is the cause of the succeeding one. Succeeding one is the effect of the preceding one. What does it mean? It says something very important. Suppose somebody says, my mind is not peaceful. I'm very restless. I'm trying to control my mind. The secret here is don't. More powerful way of controlling the mind than trying to control the mind and keep it quiet is go back. What is before peaceful mind? Vairagya, dispassion for the world. Have sharp dispassion for the world. God will take care of the world. Even family, even job. I will do whatever is necessary. I will not spend 1 iota of mental energy about it. Then you will see mind will become peaceful. Causal link. The cause of my restlessness is not in the mind itself. It's in my desires. In my utter involvement. The anxiety and attraction I feel for the world. Quieten that down. Let that go. Throw it into the Ganges. In Bible, Jesus Christ's own words are very harsh. Let the dead bury the dead. You walk on. So, dispassion. But I am not getting dispassion. I am attracted. I am attached to some things, some people, some things. Then, don't struggle with the attachment. It's too difficult. Go back. What is before dispassion? Viveka, discernment. Drive it deeper into the mind. There is God, Brahman, Atman, enlightenment. There is a solution to all my problems. When that becomes more and more clear, dispassion for the world will start increasing. People say, I'm losing interest in many things in the world. How are they losing interest? Are they struggling with it? No, automatically it is happening, Swamiji. How? What happened? Before, what preceded that? I was listening to lots of Vedanta. Viveka is arising. Viveka is arising, so Vairagya comes automatically. Vairagya comes, peaceful mind will come automatically. Okay. Final. How much? We don't have time. We've really gone beyond time. So let's stop here. No? The last 3 components of enlightenment. Okay, let me just make it as brief as possible and we'll stop. We don't have time for Q&A, but we have a full session after dinner that will be a relaxed session of chit-chat and Q&A. And I usually use it for storytelling. Those are the sessions people remember more than any of the philosophers. Okay. 3 components of enlightenment. Now, we were till now preliminaries at the beginning of spiritual life. Now we are going to the end of it. Enlightenment. What is enlightenment? What does it consist of? First and foremost, Tattva Jnana in Sanskrit, in English, knowledge of reality. Knowledge of reality, number 1. What is this knowledge of reality? What we did in the first 2 sessions this morning. I am Brahman, this realization. Realization, not just knowing about it. I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi ityakara jnanam. This type of knowledge. I am Brahman. This, not just hearing about it, not repeating it, not even thinking or understanding it, as a fact. This is called knowledge of reality. Another name for it is also enlightenment. But this is not sufficient. Here is the important thing. That's why I'm mentioning these. Vidyaranya Swami, it's a story, I don't know how true it is. We heard from monks. He is the one who wrote the non-dualistic masterpiece Panchadashi, 15 chapters on Advaita. He wrote that. Such a masterful exposition. Whatever had gone on before him, from the Upanishads to Gita to Shankara, post-Shankara Advaitins, up to his time. He lived 600 years ago in the south of India, in the Vijayanagara kingdom. He put it all together in this beautiful book, 15 chapters. Our own Swami Swahanandaji, who was the predecessor of Swami Sarvadevananda, he has translated. Panchadashi is available. 15 chapters on Advaita, masterpiece of Advaita Vedanta. if you read it, it's delightful reading it, and read it a few times, you'll be enlightened. It's too much of a claim, but yes, it's a masterpiece of a book. Now, when he wrote this and he gave it to his disciples and he taught it, his disciples they said to him, "Well, Master, this is wonderful. We are Brahman. I am Brahman. Now I can do anything I want. I can do anything I want." And Vidyaranya Swami thought, "Oh my God, what have I done? I've created these little non-dualistic monsters who are going to violate morals, ethics. They're just going to follow their own desires in the name of being Brahman. I am Brahman, so I can do whatever I want. After all, what difference does it make? But you're causing so much harm. Oh, it's all Maya. What difference does it make?" It's possible to misuse. One Swami used to tell lies, and Sri Ramakrishna, during his time, Sri Ramakrishna caught hold of him. "Why do you tell? You're a monk. Why do you tell lies?" And the Swami said, "Look, I'll explain it to you. You see, Brahman alone is real, and the world is Maya, Mithya. It's a lie. Why are you only taking my lies into consideration? The whole world is a lie." Sri Ramakrishna was aghast. He was stunned. He condemned such Vedanta. He says this. So Vidyaranya Swami was shocked. "Oh my God, what have I done? I have given," it's like giving an atom bomb to a child. "Now I will not practice meditation." "Why do I need to meditate? I am Brahman." "Go to the temple and bow down before the Lord." "What temple? I am God. You come and bow down to me." So, little monster has been created. Then Vidyaranya Swami wrote another book, Jivan Mukti Viveka, an inquiry into the free while living. Free while living. That's the goal of Advaita Vedanta. In this life, right here. That's what was taught by Vasistha to Ramachandra. Free while living. As a king, as a married man, as a prince. You're still full Jivan Mukta, full freedom while living. So that free while living, Jivan Mukti, has three components. One of which is the realization, I am Brahman. What we did in the morning today. That's only one. Second, Manonasham in Sanskrit. Translation is a rather alarming English translation, destruction of the mind. Don't worry, it's not destruction of the mind. It is the ability to control the mind to the extent that you can become deeply absorbed in your real nature at your will. To that extent you have developed your meditation. That you can become deeply absorbed in meditation even to the extent of samadhi. Have you developed your meditation to that level? That's a component of enlightenment. Full enlightenment. Third, Vasanakshaya. Third component. Complete purification of the mind. Vasanakshaya, the degradation and decay of all desires. That is the destruction of desires. The destruction of desires. That is the complete purification of the mind. They're asking us to be nothing short of a saint. A moral saint. Vasanakshaya, purification of mind. If you have all three, you are Jivan Mukta. So this is a topic that is discussed quite intensely among the monks in the Himalayas. They say, suppose you have one of them, especially if I've cultivated Vedanta to the extent when I am convinced I'm enlightened. Then, what about the other two? Oh monk, is your mind under control to the extent that you can become absorbed in your nature as pure consciousness? Are negative tendencies gone from your mind forever? Have you come to that level of purification? If not, in this say in Hindi, जीवन मुक्ति की विलक्षण सुख से वंचित रह जाएगा वो. You will be deprived of, you will not get the great fulfillment and joy of Jivan Mukti, the freedom while living. You will be caught in a peculiar situation where you have got genuine clarity that you are Brahman, you are pure consciousness, and yet you struggle in life. The struggle in life is because of the restless mind and the impure mind. If the sadhana has been done properly, there's a term for that, krito upasti. Kritopasti, one who has completed the course of sadhana. You are an advanced yogi and you have a pure mind. Advanced yogi actually already means that. I mean advanced in meditation and advanced in the purification of mind. When enlightenment arises, I am Brahman, then it's done, truly done. Such a person is called Jivan Mukta, free while living. Or in the terms of Gita, Sthita Prajna, whose wisdom is established. What a beautiful term, wisdom is established. I am Brahman, this wisdom is shaky. We always hear the complaint. It's clear in the retreat, but the moment I step out, it's gone. The moment I'm on the freeway, it's gone. And by the time I'm back at home, it's totally gone. Then my wisdom is not sthita, is not steady. Sthita prajna. Prajna means wisdom, the realization that I am Brahman. The monks there put it humorously. प्रज्ञा स्थित है क्या महात्मा जी? नहीं तो क्या घूमने गया है कहीं? Is your wisdom steady or has it gone somewhere for a walk? In Americans say take a hike. So the three components. If all the preliminary spiritual practices, karma yoga, upasana, have been done well for over years, you are ready for enlightenment and freedom by living. If it has not been done and yet you feel, and it can be genuine, there are people who have breakthroughs. I know of such people in this country itself who have genuine breakthrough and realization. It comes after a period of inquiry, it came. But the recommendation for thousands of years of tradition, this is a problem well known in India, is such a person should plunge into deeper sadhana. And why not? For you, this realization, it shows for the first time it is real for you. Why won't you stay with it? Stay with it. Stay with it until all darkness has fled. Otherwise, there are these troubles of, people who seem to be on one hand enlightened but behave in another way. There are faults and scandals and things like that. It's not that those people are entirely false. There is something there, but there's also something lacking there. That's why Jivan Mukti requires sadhana before enlightenment and post enlightenment. In most cases. In many cases, the sadhana may be complete by the time the enlightenment comes. So these are the three components of full enlightenment. I always say, don't be in a hurry. Let us not be in a hurry to declare oneself enlightened. If I am enlightened and yet I do not consider myself enlightened, I'm still a practitioner. I will do no harm to myself or to anybody else. But if I am not enlightened and I declare myself enlightened, then I stop my own spiritual progress and I can do a lot of harm to others. Especially if someone is sufficiently advanced, they have a certain mesmeric power to them. They can attract us. And it can cause harm to others and to themselves also. Their own spiritual progress is blocked. So it is much better to generally consider ourselves to be sadhaka. We are on the path. Once I was asked for an interview. They said this is interviews open only to people who are enlightened. Then you can be interviewed. You can come on this show. I said I can't claim to be enlightened. Then they changed the title of the show. On the way to enlightenment. Then I said, okay, I am ready to come here. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Quick look back.